Hello and welcome to the second part of the Power Platform security series on VNets. In this second part, I want to show you a bit about the setup and do a short demo how you can verify that this configuration works. But before I'm doing that, I will go through the setup steps and then we will have a look at my demo system and check it out. So first, what I did was I was going through this article, but I did not follow each and every step. I made some small modifications and I will show you why and what I did. So first thing that I did is I had to make sure my user had the network admin role. So that's something you set up in Entra. Just make sure you have this role. Next thing, that's also something you have to make sure in Azure. You have to make sure that you have the Power Platform resource provider registered. Then, third step, and that's something we will go through later, is you have to set up VNets and you have to set up two of them. So I have here VNet 1 and VNet 2. And the important thing is they must be in different locations. I have here East US and West US. And if you remember, the locations that I showed you in the first part, be very careful with them. If you choose a wrong location, things are not working. Always choose the ones that are listed there. Okay, then I have subnets. So here's my first subnet. And what I enabled is this delegation. And that's what I mentioned before. You need this subnet delegation with enterprise policies here. And the same applies here for my second subnet. Where I use the same, but look at this IP range and make sure that they are not overlapping. So that's important. And for the other things, I did not set up something else. Then we have to create the enterprise policy. And if you look at this document, you will come up with this GitHub project, and you will get some sample input code. I did not use that. Why? Well, if you watched my video on customer managed keys, I modified it and created my custom policy. So basis of what I did in the following was this kind of site. You can see here how you configure that, what you have to specify, and that's what I used. So I used basically this schema. You see here, I have here network injection. That's also the kind here. And then I have virtual networks and the name of the subnets. And I have two of them. And if you're not doing this properly, if you choose the wrong region, then you get error messages. So be careful about that. Then once you have enabled or basically put in place this enterprise policy, you will see already in the Power Platform this policy. But wait a minute, we are not finished. Why? Well, you have to grant the Power Platform admin reading rights to that. So you choose your admin, you take the object ID, and then you can use different ways. You can use the Azure Graph and then use Cloud Shell to assign this, or you can directly go into the enterprise policy. So basically you open this enterprise policy and give read access rights of your Power Platform admin to this one. And here is the Cloud Shell script that I used. Okay, once you have that, then you can go into the security section, the VNet, select your environment, and then you basically select the policy and save it. Once you do that, you get a warning, hey, be careful. You should know what you're doing, and you just assign this. And then once you have all of that, you can test out things. And that's what I want to show you next in my demo environment. Okay, so let us start here. This is basically my resource group that I set up for this purpose. And what you can see is here there's the first VNet, and here is the second one. And what I also did for testing later, I created a storage account. But let's focus first on these VNets. So how did I set them up? Well, I just said, hey, create a new one. And then you're basically guided through. So you select your resource group, your virtual network name, let's say demo. Then we go next. I did not enable something like that. I did not set up virtual network encryption, bastion, firewall, all of that. I just said, hey, take the defaults and create it. And then I got these VNets. And if we have a look at that, then I have here a subnet created. Also here, I just said create a subnet. And once you're doing that, you have a couple of configurations. You can set up different things. For example, private subnet, security settings with this net gateway. So if you need internet access, you can define that here. If you need service endpoints, you can select services that can be selected and so on. And I said here, that's the only thing that I choose. I said here, Microsoft Enterprise Policy for subnet delegation. Okay. The other things, I just left it as they were. Okay, and I did that twice, of course, for the first and the second VNet. That's it. Then I came here. That's here, Entra. I made sure I had this role. So easy. And then there was this thing with the enterprise policy. And I had a look at this article here. So remember, decide. And here it says, hey, how should this code look like that you have to implement? So the important thing is here, network injection, and then you provide the details here. And I did not run this as a PowerShell script, but I came here and created this policy simply by, let me move that a bit, by deploying a custom template. That's what I used already last time. So I open that one, click on that, and then you say build your own template. You copy and paste the code, with of course your parameters, your details, and then you are fine. Then you give it this kind of policy created. So let's make that a bit smaller and then move on. So once you have this policy, then you need to make sure that your user has these reader rights. So let me check the access here, and I have this reader role. Again, you can do it from here. You can run a PowerShell script. That's really up to you how you are doing that. That's again my user, and then here is the resource graph explorer, where you can check, okay, here's my enterprise policy, and where you can configure things and then run the PowerShell script. That's what is basically stated inside of the Microsoft Learn article. And once you have that, you will see here the first time your network policy. So let's click on next. Then you will see this. But don't forget the reader role to assign. So basically, if you have assigned the reader role, you come here, select this, and then you say save. Then you get this warning message. And then you can say, okay, I really want to enable VNets for that. So that's basically all. But then the question is, hey, how do you check all of that? How do you check all of that things have been deployed correctly? So one possibility is you can click on the environment. So if you are here in the environment section, then you have here the history, and then you can see the VNet injection. So, okay, succeeded, looks good. But, well, that's not really a proof for me. So what did I do? Well, I created a storage account. So let me try to find it. This is my storage account. And I created here a container. And inside of this container, I have a couple of pictures. Just uploaded them, and that's it. And now I want to make sure that only from within this VNet I can access this. So how did I test this, or how did I configure that? It is basically here on networking. And first of all, I said, hey, don't put any restrictions. Enable the access from all networks. Okay. And with this configuration, I tested two things. First, I came here in this environment where we have the VNet linked, and I created this flow. Let me show you. It's super simple, and it's basically using a manual trigger, and then it connects to this blob. Okay, so it uses here my user access. Yeah, it connects to this blob, and then, well, I hold just the name. That's it. Yeah? And I did the same here in this environment. It's exactly the same flow. Yeah? But remember, this environment, Yoda Dev 4, this one does not have the VNet connected. Okay. So now, with this in place, and with the configuration that we allow access to everyone, let's run these two flows first. Okay. So, and the expectation is both flows, they run, and they succeed, they do not fail. So let's run this one. So this is in the environment Yoda Dev 5 that has the VNet set up. I hope it does not take long. Let's wait for it. So you see here, this is the time succeeded. Okay, that's what we would expect. Now, in this Yoda Dev 4 that does not have the VNet set up, and without placing any restrictions, we should be able to connect to the blob storage and extract the files or the file names. And you see, we succeeded. Let's double check it. So here we can get the data. Okay. So now, to test this a bit more, I wanted to see what happens. Let's see where's our storage account. Now, if we enable here the access from the selected VNet and IP addresses. So I selected here my VNet 1. I just clicked here, VNet 1, and here's my subnet. Okay. So now I save this. And what I'm saying here is basically you only allow access to the storage account through this VNet. Okay. And now let's try again. So we are in the environment number 5 that has the VNet access enabled. So let's run it. And the expectation is that this still works. And let's say done. So now we have here around 9:14. Yeah, succeeded. Works. Perfect. Now, in this environment, we would expect that it fails. Because, I mean, in this environment, Yoda Dev 4, we do not have anything configured with this VNet. So let's double check. And you see, this is the time here, it fails. And why? Let's look inside. It's forbidden. It says there's an authorization failure. And that is because of this configuration that we made here and said, okay, hey, we only allow specific environments to access this data. Okay, that's it. Basically what I wanted to show. Of course, you can check other things. There are also here something you can get insights. Hey, what is the traffic? What are the failures to my storage account? How often has it been accessed and so on. That's also interesting. So I would recommend check it out, set it up, and then you will see what is possible and not. And also don't forget, I mean, I just showed you the very basic setups. Here in the subnet, you can set up additional things. And I mentioned already this net gateway. You can here select different service endpoints, what you want to access, and so on and so forth. So there are really additional settings that you can make use of to make your environments and your data safe. Let us go back to my PowerPoint to close this short video with a quick summary. Okay, as a short summary, so what is the important thing here? So this virtual network support for the Power Platform, it allows you to connect Power Platform services from Dataverse, Power Apps, Power Automate, and so on and so forth in a secure way with services, data, information that you have on-prem, that you have in databases, in the cloud, on-prem, that you have in different storage account, in key vaults, and so on. And you are really the master of this kind of connection, and you control the access to resources that you want to have. So that's the important thing. You don't connect to services over the public internet, but through this VNet. And that's it, what I wanted to share with you. I hope you found it interesting and useful. And as usual, if you have questions or comments, just contact me. Then thanks again for watching and listening, and then till next time.